bullied and tongue-torn. We gon' leave you beat up, bullied and tongue-torn. We said we only rock with Mavericks. If you a clone, then step off the canvas. Lest you get beat up, bullied and tongue-torn. We gon' leave you beat up, bullied and tongue-torn. We said we only rock with Mavericks. If you a clone, then step off the canvas.
Hello and welcome to this special Friday edition of The Box Score. I'm your host, Noah Berkowitz. We've got plenty to get to, but we're going to get started quickly here in the NFL, where the Cleveland Browns have announced that Sheuder Sanders will start at quarterback this Sunday against the Raiders. I'm joined by our analysts, Zack Jewel and Rico Brill. Zack, this has been a long time coming, just like your Lax boys watching the episode.
Wow, that was a good one.
I know.
I'm excited to see Sheuder play.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see him succeed. I think he has so many haters out there. He's kind of perceived as this diva figure.
Yeah.
And people are forgetting that he was a good quarterback in college.
Mm-hmm.
He led FBS with 74% completion percentage. He had the third lowest off-target percentage at 6.5. I mean, he can be good.
Yeah.
And we've seen that.
Yeah, he has a high floor. That was like the draft evaluation from many around the league early on was that he looks like he could be NFL ready. But obviously, he had that big slide to the 5th round. You have Dillon Gabriel in there. Dillon Gabriel has been, for lack of a better word, bad.
Yeah, pretty bad.
So what are the expectations we're putting on Sheuder?
I definitely think of him a little more highly than Rico. I
Okay.
know. I think the Browns defense is going to help them stay in the game. They're playing the Raiders. The secondary is not very good.
No, the Raiders are just not very good.
Yeah, exactly. Geno Smith, I would assume, is probably going to turn the ball over, give Sheuder more opportunities to do something there. He's taking his first team reps finally, which he hasn't all season with practice. So, I would see I could totally see 250 yards out of him.
Okay.
Okay. I know
you're bullish on Sheuder.
I'm being a little egregious, but I like it. Okay.
Okay. Rico, you are a little more contained in your expectations, but you're not anti-Sheuder.
Yeah, I'm not anti-Sheuder. I do agree that people have forgotten how good of a player this guy is, and we still never really got an explanation for that 5th-round slide in the draft.
Right.
However, I also think Dillon Gabriel his bad play was a result of this system just being so incompetent. We were just looking at those highlights of him getting sacked a bunch by the Ravens. Obviously, the Raiders are a much worse team, but I don't think he's set up for success at all. There's nobody there. The O-line is not good. The defense is the only good part. So he's going to have a lot of possessions in this game.
Right.
I think he's going to turn the ball over a few times. And I think also for somebody with the drama and narrative surrounding him like Sheuder has, anything less than amazing is going to be some sort of a disappointment.
Right. You're saying these expectations have been sky high because they're almost the expectations that he set for himself. We saw early on.
He's one of the top selling jerseys, and he's not even a starter.
Right. I'm sure those jerseys are going double platinum at the frat houses.
Absolutely.
I think it's a little unfair that he kind of was put into a situation where he had such a high expectation. All these analysts thought he was going to go in the 1st round. He didn't. Obviously, something behind the scenes had happened, but he's talented. Multiple turnovers, you're saying, I don't know if I can get behind that. I think he might play a clean-ish game. The Raiders are known not to blitz, and the Ravens blitzed a lot last year.
They did.
They have the personnel to do that.
Exactly. The Raiders, they have Max Crosby besides that.
Right. That's the matchup I think that everyone's going to be paying attention to is, can Max Crosby get to the quarterback? If he can, it might be a long day for Sheuder, but I think, like you said, the Raiders don't blitz enough. The Raiders also just don't have the personnel to be able to send pressure every day.
And Geno's going to give the ball back to Sheuder.
Well, that and the fact that Sheuder will probably have more time to air it out tonight.
But this is also a guy who's this is his first week practicing with the first team. This is a guy who's really just had no chance to play with any of these guys, and I don't think it's going to be his fault at all. I think the expectations on him should be really low for this game.
Okay, so you're saying expectations low. Do we have a number on it?
I would say under 200 passing yards.
Under 200 passing yards?
You said your turnovers. I want to know how they happen.
Let's say a tipped interception and a forced fumble. Let's 2 forced fumbles.
2 forced fumbles.
That's 3.
Wow.
That's a lot of turnovers for
And you said he's going to be a cleanish game.
I think he might have 1, but I think he'll have a cleanish game. I think he'll lead them to a win.
I think we're all hoping Sheuder does win.
I agree.
He seems like a good kid. Seems like he wants to win.
Yeah.
I feel like being Team Sheuder is being on the right side of history, and I hope he plays well. But we're going to switch things up a little and talk some college basketball. Feels like a two-horse race now vying for the #1 prospect around the NCAA. And lucky for us, we've got 2 correspondents here to make a case for each. With me to debate who is really the biggest star are Zack Jewel and Jolm Adams. Zack, I'm going to start with you again. Who do you think is shown to be the better player?
I know the stats might say otherwise, but I think AJ Dybantsa is the better player. I think he should go #1 in the draft. Okay. I know Jolm disagrees, but we did just see AJ Dybantsa go up against #3 UConn, drop 25 points. And I think Dybantsa is more versatile as a player.
I know, he's 6'9", he can play the 2,
3, or 4. Yeah. Boozer can't. He can't do that. Dybantsa's a freak athlete, and he's stated in multiple interviews and stuff that he's totally fine with being a plug-and-play player. Like, he's totally fine with playing wherever or however many minutes a team wants him to.
I know you had mentioned this earlier, too, that, he is almost single-handedly making BYU basketball relevant.
100%. And could we say the same thing about Boozer? I don't think so.
Okay, Jolm?
I believe that just overall Cam Boozer offers a lot more to your team that for the position you're going to be in with the #1 overall draft pick. No offense to your Nets, Noah, but you see with Cam Thomas, a guy who can just go out there and get a bucket is not going to elevate your team into winning basketball. Sure, you're going to be able to sell jerseys, get people in the stadium, your team might be relevant again. I think he'll be a superstar in the league in the sense that everyone's going to be talking about him and like, oh my God, he just dropped 40. But he's not
no results to show for.
That might be what the Nets need at this point.
Another pure scorer. But, so I need the case for Boozer, though. There's the anti-Dybantsa narrative, but what is the pro-Boozer narrative?
I think the pro-Boozer narrative is because Boozer offers more to your team that in the #1 aspect of basketball is stopping the other team from putting the ball in the net. When you have a guy who can contain the paint and elevate your
He's the same size as Dybantsa, by the way. He's the exact same height.
He plays defense in the restricted area better.
Yeah, exactly. He can only play the 4 or 5. And you think
some teams might need a 4 or a 5 at the top of the draft.
Think about the teams that are on the bottom. You have the Kings, Wizards, Nets, Pelicans. All those guys have a 4 or a 5 that are they're not going to move on. They're not going to move on from outside.
At the same time, I don't feel AJ runs the 1 very well in the same way. Like, he's a good dribbler. He doesn't pass the ball well. He doesn't elevate.
I do think Boozer's a better passer. I'll give you that.
He doesn't elevate your offense in the way you would want a guy playing the 1. He's just a guy who's going to go out there, get a bucket. He's not going to win you games just because of that. You need guys who play defense, elevate the guys around them, draw in that double team, and I think when you draw in that double team, you need a guy who's going to get the ball to the open man. I don't think that's your guy in AJ. I think that's your guy.
I don't know. I think if we're talking about pure upside here, Dybantsa 100% has.
But this is not like the NFL. You don't draft just solely off of pure upside because in the NBA, one guy who really fits your system well can elevate you to a championship level team. We see that with Drew Holiday. With both the Bucks and the Celtics, he elevated them to championship level teams just off one guy. You're not going to waste their #1 overall pick on a guy with just a lot of upside.
But you're saying that you are agreeing with me that Dybantsa could take over a game.
But in the same, I think Cameron Boozer can take over a game too. I think they take over games in different ways.
I don't know, man. Personally, I know you're going with Boozer. I'm going with Dybantsa. Noah, you're the deciding factor here.
I don't know if I can be, but that's why we're going to move on. Zack and Jolm, thank you very much. The NFC North has a case for being the toughest division in the NFL right now, with potentially 3 teams in the playoff battle. But who will truly, for all of my Game of Thrones fans out there, be the king of the North? With me to find out is Rico Brill, Danny O'Toole, and Jolm Adams. Rico, I'm going to go with you first. Who's your pick?
I'm going to go with the Lions. This is a team that has established themselves with the Packers and the Bears. They're a bit newer to establishing themselves as a top powerhouse in this league. I think the Lions are the team to beat. As we talked about in last episode, this is the team to beat in this division. They've done it for so long. They've established such a high standard of offense, particularly completely overwhelm all of their other opponents. And this is a really hard team to beat. I think with the increase in James Williams' productions, it's just going to be too much for anyone else to handle.
If we want to talk about teams, if the Lions are a team to beat, you can't be losing to a team like the Kansas City Chiefs. And yes, the Chiefs have been perennial contenders for almost the last decade, but they're 5-5 this season, and dropping that game. I won't poke fun at the game against the Eagles because the Eagles are a Super Bowl contender.
So are the Chiefs.
But at 5-5, though, I'm worried about that loss on the Lions' record.
I think the type of loss, to lose to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, you can stomach any time. I think them losing to a team that is arguably high Super Bowl contenders every single year, no matter what, you can stomach that loss. I think when I'm talking about a team to beat, I'm mainly talking about the team to beat in their division.
I think the one thing that I'm worried about with the Lions, though, is that cornerback depth. They've had a lot of injuries in that secondary. You've lost Carlton Davis even this last offseason. I know Teron Arnold, he stepped up. He's been playing phenomenal this year. But I'm just worried about how many more injuries. And it's been the thing to talk about with the Lions team, even going back to last season, is the injuries on defense. How can you outcome that when it comes time to play January football and you need your guys on the field?
Yeah, I mean, depth is definitely going to be what comes down to it for all of these teams, as this division is super close.
Right. Jolm, what team do you got?
Unfortunately, because I don't think Noah likes me very much, I'm going to have to go up here and defend the Bears.
The Bears are number one in the NFC North, though.
They are number one. They are leading the North right now, and as much as I hate to say it, they look like a very good football team right now. One, they're leading the league in rushing yards per game. You got Ben Johnson, who was able to make Jared Goff, of all players, look like an MVP caliber player. And even with the 52-point loss, they'll have 52 dropped on them by the Detroit Lions, they still have a lot of upside. They held that electric Cowboys offense to 14 points. So, and we saw against J.J. McCarthy, this defense can't come out there and make plays. So I think if the defense keeps coming out there and making plays, the offense keeps working like it's working, Odunze gets the ball more because he's top 10 in touchdowns right now. I think the Bears could hold this lead throughout this tough next few games and eventually win the North.
I mean, when you do want teams that want to come out in January, I mean, you're looking at a team potentially like the Bears because they are winning a lot of these close games. But I think it's just the consistency with the Bears. I just don't know how far they're going to end up going. I know you do have a rookie head coach in Ben Johnson, and by all means, Ben Johnson is an offensive mastermind. But I just don't know when it comes down to the wire. And you need Caleb Williams. Now, Caleb Williams has been playing a lot better than he did last year. But when you need Caleb Williams to go out there and win you a game, I'm just not sure how much you can really rely on.
Especially when who on that team has even played in the playoffs before? I don't know about anyone. The experience in that team is so just inept compared to the other two teams in this division.
I mean, you want to talk about experience and who you trust to lead when you need to go out there and win a game. The Bears have five of their 7 wins are comebacks. They've led the league in comeback wins. They've shown that when they face adversity, they can come out and still win these games, still come out every drive with 110%, and eventually pull it off. So I don't know why you wouldn't trust them to come out.
Adversity in the playoffs is a lot different than the regular season, though, I will say. So it'll be a much bigger test for them to face it when it comes to there.
And one last thing, too. My team that I think can really come out on top is, Jolm, your Green Bay Packers. This team, you're going to be getting your 2 best pass catchers back. You've already had Christian Watson back, but now you're going to be getting Jaden Reed back sometime soon. And you have an insane pass rushing duo between Micah Parsons and Rashawn Gary. And I know you're really going to appreciate this one, but remember the name, Carrington Valentine. He was their 2023 7th rounder, and he is the 5th best graded corner on PFF. And he's held, for the Lions, Amon-Ra St. Brown, week 1 to just 4 catches. And I know he's been struggling this year, but A.J. Brown just to 1 catch, 7 yards. If it comes down to it, I want that Packers defense out there to win this division.
Well, it's going to be a really good battle in the North. Back to you at the desk, Noah.
It is going to be a good battle, but we're going to have to head to a quick commercial break. First, we've got a message, though, from our 10-year anniversary, former host Hannah Brewitt. And when we return, you'll get to see the first box score mock draft of the year. Stay tuned.
Hi, everyone. My name is Hannah Brewitt, and I was the first female host of the box score. I took over after Ryan Ribeiro, and he was actually the one who got me into the show. He was a classmate and friend of mine, and he came up to me one day and was like, I'm doing this show. I want you to be a part of it, and the rest is history. You know, it started, for me at least, as just a group of friends hanging out and bouncing ideas and putting them on TV. And I think that's what made it so special, is that it wasn't just reporting or facts and figures. It was also a group of kids just having a great time and talking about sports and getting analytical and trying to make it funny. And it was just a really special show that wasn't like anything else that Emerson was offering at the time. It was kind of the least newsy show, which for some people they didn't like because they wanted to be, you know, a little more serious, a little buttoned up when it comes to journalism. But I just loved how much fun that we had on that show.
When I arrive at my destination, I am gonna kill Bill.
Gaffer's tape.
Hi, I'm Nate.
And I'm Casey, and we're the National Broadcasting Society.
Come out to some of our weekly workshops, or work on some of our sets.
Explore the bigger picture with NBS.
We'll see you there.
All right, let's get another take. Camera, sound.
So yeah, it's like Emerson's very own late night talk show. We've got games like Jimmy Fallon, and we're hot like Jimmy Kimmel, and we've got guests. I'm gonna talk to them. You can talk too, I guess. There's a live studio audience, and they're just gonna laugh at everything we say, and it's gonna be awesome. It's just this never-ending cycle of positivity and community and late night content. I'm gonna wear a suit. You should probably wear one too. What do you think?
I think you should drink up, because it's closing time.
Welcome back to the box score. Now, LeBron James has finally made his season debut following a sciatica injury that held him out of the opening month for the Lakers. And while LeBron has seemed immortal throughout his career, Father Time is undefeated. Joining me to discuss what the return of James means for the Lakers' championship hopes and how long LeBron has left are Olivia Holub and Danny O'Toole. Olivia, come get us started.
Okay, first off, happy Wicked release day to everyone that celebrates. Let's talk about the alphabet of the NBA, which is LeBron James, of course. He is that girl, okay? I know Cynthia sings she's not that girl, but LeBron is.
Okay.
He's 23 seasons. That is an insane run.
It is.
And his first game back, double-double. I'm not expecting him to put up 30 points in his first game back. You know, he's getting back into it. But 23 seasons is crazy.
The longevity.
It's just insane how he stays healthy. Obviously, he was hurt, but
he had this injury and came back like nothing happened.
Yeah, he's really good with taking care of how he is as a player. It's so insane how he can stay this long.
Right.
I think what is really good for LeBron this season, if we want to talk about he doesn't need to come in and drop 30 points in his return, it's because Luka Doncic has been doing that the whole season, and Austin Reeves has really stepped up this year.
Austin Reeves has been great.
He's probably going to become a first-time All-Star. I have no doubt in my mind that he's going to be doing that. Luka's been averaging almost a 34-point triple-double right now on one of the highest usage rates in the league, and you're adding LeBron to this team. This team is fourth in the West right now, and now you're adding LeBron?
I guess the question marks surrounding all of this is how long can LeBron realistically sustain this? I know we had the questions. There's the famous tweet, thank God LeBron is 30, so this will finally end.
10 years later.
Exactly. When are we saying, you know what, LeBron has finally slowed down?
I think if he this year takes like the role player role and isn't going out to be the best scorer, I think he's got a couple years left.
Really?
I do. Just the way he takes care of himself, I think he can.
You think he wants to play with Bryce?
I do. I low-key do.
Why wouldn't you? You've already played with Bron.
Exactly. Except the only thing is Bryce is, I'm pretty sure, redshirting, so that'll be interesting. But I think he's got a couple of years left.
If LeBron goes into more of this facilitator role and he's the second playmaker alongside Luka, he's going to be able to extend his career for another 2 years potentially.
I agree.
That's
completely.
I mean, it is just unbelievable how long LeBron has been able to extend his career at such a high level of play. We're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep an eye on it, though. I think for sure. And I think I like the Wicked reference. He's the alpha of the NBA.
He is.
Okay. Listen. Thank you guys. We're gonna head over now, though, to the Triple Monitor, where Rico Brill and Zack Jewel are ready to talk about the state of the MVP award in the NFL and whether it's time to get rid of the award entirely. Guys.
Yeah, no, this is an award that's been getting on my nerves for a little while, to be honest. It has turned into just the quarterback award in the NFL. Since 2012, it's been only quarterbacks to win, and it needs to change. It's the only sport that has it like this, where the top award is only really viable for one position to win.
You know, I agree with you, but let's also look at the fact that for the seasons that we've seen since 2012, like I think Adrian Peterson was kind of an anomaly. I do think that in that 2012 season, he was the most valuable player. However, when we think about who on a football team brings value, it's the guy that touches the ball the most. He touches it basically on every single offensive snap, and that's the quarterback. So do I think we should get rid of the award? I don't know. I think if we see a historic season like we did with Adrian Peterson.
We almost did last year with Saquon.
I know, but I still think like guys like Josh Allen and Lamar and Patrick Mahomes damn near were the most valuable for their respective teams.
Well, I just think with the state of the current NFL quarterback, it is almost impossible, and I don't see it changing, that there will be a season where someone like Saquon had last season where there's not going to be a better quarterback season. There's too many good quarterbacks. It's just pure domination, and I think what we need to...
Is that a problem?
Yeah, for the fans and the players, it is a problem that only one position can win this award. Yes, I think so.
I mean, hypothetically, if we see a guy with 25 sacks, like we were talking about at pitch, like he would win MVP. Yeah. Guys are getting more talented every year. Quarterbacks are getting more talented every year. I mean, we'll see, right? But as of right now, I don't hate that the award is still going, and I don't hate that a quarterback's going to win it for the last couple of years. He's still gonna.
The idea I have to kind of adjust this would be make it a little bit more similar to the Heisman in college football, where any position can win. We actually do see receivers win all the time, sometimes defensive players. Anyone can win. Last year, Travis Hunter won. Where you look at it more as comparing the position and the player to other players who play their position. So if a receiver, or even a kicker, let's say a kicker has the best kicking season ever by 100 points, that kicker probably should win MVP because they had the most dominant season for their position ever.
I don't know if I agree with you on that part of it, but I see where you're coming from. I like the idea. However, are you thinking that we should have multiple awards like per position, kind of like?
I mean, we have the All-Pro awards now.
Yeah.
So I think that could take place for that, and then you have the Best Player Award or Most Impressive Season Award.
I feel like the MVP kind of reflects that to an extent. What are your thoughts on the best player for a season, like not being a quarterback? Do you think in the last 9 years or however long
have we seen that?
Have we seen a non-quarterback that should have won MVP?
Aaron Donald for multiple seasons, I think. Honestly, I'd probably say Saquon last season, and off the top of my head, those are the ones that really stand out. Yeah. I think Myles Garrett, what he's doing this year, would qualify for that as well.
Now, that brings me to another point. Do you think that a good player on a bad team deserves to be in an MVP race if their team is like the Cleveland Browns?
Yeah, this is the tricky conversation. I personally do. I don't think your value is diminished just because you're on a bad team. I think your value and what you bring to a team is your value on any team.
I like where you're coming from. I do think that if you're so good of a player, you should be able to elevate the people around you and elevate your team to win. I mean, if Myles Garrett was the most valuable player in the league, I think we'd see the Browns with a couple more wins. Think about it this way, Rico. If we saw Patrick Mahomes on the Browns, right? He'd be more valuable just because he's a quarterback and he would help them win compared to what Myles Garrett's doing right now.
Not for his position, though, if that makes sense.
Okay, I get it. I think we're getting to a good point here. So that's all we have. Noah, let's hear from you on this mock draft.
Zach, Rico, thank you. I'm finally moving away from the desk. I don't know if I agree with Rico's kicker sentiment, but I also don't know if Zach's Patrick Mahomes whole deal with the Browns makes a lot of sense. But we're doing our first mock draft of the season. I'm happy to take it away. And so let's get started. The Titans are on the clock right now. I have them going first overall. They're going to take Arvell Reese, the linebacker out of Ohio State. He's by far the best player in this draft. overall, just a ridiculous prospect. You know, he could play edge rusher, he could play off-ball linebacker, he could play on-ball linebacker. You know, linebacker not necessarily the most valued position in the NFL, but that's because Arvell Reese is not a linebacker. So we have him going number 1 overall. Now, obviously, we're not doing trades with this mock draft. I think it's a little too early to be focusing on that. But if Arvell Reese is available, I think it'd be dumb not to take him. I mean, he's a blue chip player in this class. He can pretty much do anything. It would be a mistake for the Titans to pass up on him if they do decide to stick and pick. But going on to pick number 2, we've got the New York Giants. Now, the Giants have a couple of holes to fill. They've got a couple of holes on the offensive line. They got a couple of holes on the defense and the secondary. But offensive line, secondary, not two strengths of this class. You know, I have them picking Jordan Tyson, the wide receiver from Arizona State. Now, there's a lot of question marks with Malik Nabers now that he's injured. You have to have another weapon on that offense. Jordan Tyson has his own injury concerns. You know, he's been held out for a couple weeks now with a hamstring injury. But there's a couple, bright spots to look at with Jordan Tyson. I think adding more weapons for Jackson Dart coming back next season is only a positive. For the third pick, it's the Cleveland Browns on the clock. Now we're going QB. We're going Ty Simpson out of Alabama. Now, personally, I'm a Fernando Mendoza guy, but I see why the Cleveland Browns would be intrigued by Ty Simpson, and it's because he would fit the mold of that squad so well. He's ridiculous in the pocket, the unbelievable pocket awareness, the unbelievable ability to get the ball out quickly. He's probably the most refined prospect in this draft and has probably a higher ceiling than Fernando Mendoza despite having a lower floor. At number 4, though, with the New Orleans Saints, Fernando Mendoza is finally going to go off the clock. The Saints, they need to go quarterback here. I think that Tyler Shuck is not preventing you from going quarterback. And the rest of the league clearly is a leg up from the New Orleans Saints at this point on the offensive front. They need a guy who can sling the rock. Fernando Mendoza has been ridiculous all season, the Heisman front runner. He would be a perfect fit for New Orleans. Now at number 5, the New York Jets. There's one quarterback, at least one first-round graded quarterback left on the board in Dante Moore, but we're not going to go with him. Because if the Jets have only Dante Moore left on the board, I think it would be a mistake to draft him. You wait until 2027 when there's a much, much better quarterback class. So the New York Jets are taking arguably the best player in the entire draft in Caleb Downs. You know, there's a need at safety. There's a huge need in the defensive end. You know, you just traded Sauce Gardner. You just traded Quinnen Williams. You've got 5 first-round picks in the next 2 years. Spend it on the best blue-chip players that can set up a quarterback for success in 2027. At number 6, the Las Vegas Raiders, different situation. They're going to go Dante Moore at quarterback. Dante Moore, unrefined prospect. There's a lot left to be seen with him. Obviously, that Oregon offense can be a little shaky when it comes to transitioning to the NFL. But what I will say is that Dante Moore is an unbelievable athlete. And if you're the Raiders right now, you need a spark on that offense. You have nothing right now. Geno Smith, as much as I love him, has been ridiculously bad this season. There's no weapons now that you've traded Jacoby Myers. You have to start somewhere. At number 7, it's the Washington Commanders. We're going with Reuben Bain Jr., the edge out of Miami. He is ridiculous off the edge. He realistically could go number 1 if Arvell Reese was not in this class. Reuben Bain is so shifty off the edge, unbelievably twitchy. I think it would be a mistake for Washington, who needs help on defense badly, to pass up on him. Now, number 8, we have Los Angeles Rams. With this pick is from Atlanta. They need help on the offensive line. Now that all 3 of the top 10 quarterbacks are off the board, you got to go offensive line. It's not a strong offensive line class. You're just filling holes. Spencer Fano out of Utah is the man to do the job. Not necessarily a blue chip player, might be going higher than he would in previous classes, but you got to fill needs where you got to fill needs. At number 9, we're almost rounding out this top 10. Cincinnati is on the clock. We're going Kendrick Falk at edge. Kendrick Falk out of Auburn is also ridiculous. Not getting the national coverage that I think he might deserve, but realistically, he absolutely could be getting a lot more out of a team than they would be expecting in their initial coverage of him. And now, rounding out the top 10, at 10, we have Arizona. They need a lot. They need a quarterback. They need a receiver. They need a whole lot of help everywhere around the field. We've got them going wide receiver. They're going to go Carnell Tate, the wide receiver out of Ohio State. You need a playmaker to help whoever that next quarterback is. It's clearly not going to be Kyler Murray. It sure as hell isn't going to be Jacoby Brissett. But that'll round out the top 10. But a whole lot is going to change between now and the NFL draft. So stay tuned to the box score until then for all the news. We're going to head to another quick commercial break, but stay right there because when we return, we have the latest on the UFC and the return of one of the most famous segments in box score history. We'll be right back.
In terms of helping me in my career, the box score helped me in countless ways. I took over right before the pandemic happened, and trying to produce a show when you have all these restrictions suddenly placed on you was a huge exercise in problem solving. And it really taught me how to be a leader, how to get creative, how to work around a lot of really tough challenges that are really nobody knew what was going on at the time. So just learning how to problem solve, learning how to be a leader, learning how to bring the best out of people that you're working with. And one of the things that I learned really early on is that the box score wasn't just about one person. It's always about a team. We had a great group of people that everyone had different strengths, everyone had different talents. So learning how to bring the best out in your fellow cast members was something that I really enjoyed, and I still take those skills day to day in my current role.
I wanna rock right now. I'm Rob Bass and I came to get down. I'm not internationally known, but I'm known to rock the microphone because
Welcome back to the box score. Former NBA guard Patrick Beverley was arrested for allegedly assaulting his 15-year-old sister, at one point telling her he would, quote, be the family relative to kill her, according to a probable cause affidavit. Olivia Holub joins me for more on the situation. Olivia, how did we get here?
Okay, so on November 14th, Patrick Beverley's sister was hanging out. She's 15. She was hanging out with some guy who's 18, so she's a minor, and Patrick Beverley's mother calls him to come over, and instead he just goes for the sister. He allegedly choked her and was verbally abusing her and slapping her. And so he was charged with assault.
And arrested.
And arrested, yeah. And I think his bail is $40,000 right now, which he's a celebrity, it's way too low. Right. Especially for these charges that happened. So yeah, he confronted his sister, assaulted her, and he made a statement during her assault that, again, he was the family member to kill her, which is insane to say to your own family member.
Right.
And his attorney has made a statement too that he is not a violent man, and he was definitely not violent that night.
Okay, so disputing the claim from his sister and the police affidavit.
Exactly.
Okay, so what has been the fallout of this?
Well, Barstool, where he has his podcast, just dropped him, which was the right decision for Barstool to make.
Right.
It would have been insane if they kept him on, because this is serious issues.
I know Dave Portnoy was even talking about it either late or early this morning or late last night, talking about how if the charges and what Patrick Beverley was found to be doing is true, that he has no space on Barstool, which I think is a welcome step from the network.
Exactly, yeah. I think it was, I don't always think of Barstool as the most progressive brand, so this was very nice to see that they are taking this so serious, because it is a serious issue.
Right, and then what do you think comes next out of this?
I think people will not support Patrick. I hope people will not support Patrick Beverley because these allegations are insane. He obviously got arrested for a reason, and I just can't believe something like this would happen. It's to do that to your own family member.
Or to anyone.
Or to anyone, but especially your little sister. It's insane, and I don't see a way where people could support him after.
All right, Olivia, thank you. We're going to be keeping a close eye on any updates to the story as we get them. But we're going to head back to the gridiron now as we take a look at a few teams who have a decision to make. Keep pushing and make a last-ditch effort at the playoffs, or chalk it all up for a better draft pick. Each of our analysts chose one team to evaluate. Joining me is Rico Brill, Cam Veal, Zack Jewel, and Danny O'Toole. Rico, we're going to start with you.
Yeah, I've got the Atlanta Falcons for my team.
All right.
This is a team I'm giving up on for this season.
Okay.
Especially after the quarterback, or starting quarterback. Obviously, they have two competent quarterbacks.
If you want to call Michael Penix a competent quarterback.
Yeah, I was mostly referring to Kirk Cousins in that one. But yeah, after he goes down, it's a huge loss for their culture of their team. They're decimated with injuries. AJ Terrell's out, Leonard Floyd's out.
Right.
They've lost 5 games in a row now. And on their schedule remaining, they still have the Seahawks, Bucks, and Rams again. So I just think it's too much too late for this team that's really fallen apart with the injuries. They don't really have an identity as a team right now. There's definitely good things to look forward to for the Falcons, but in terms of this season, I think it's over.
You chalk it up, you say, you know what, there's more fights to be had, let's try and get the best possible draft pick. But the problem is they don't have their own first-round pick this year.
That's the issue. So you're not going to stop trying to win the games. Not that any team really ever does that, because no one wants to lose their job. No head coach wants to give up that possibility, because you will get fired. But I just think they're not going to be able to win any more games.
All right.
Or not anymore, but
enough to make a playoff push. All right, Cam, who did you have?
All right, I got a team that I actually despise.
Okay, so this should be easier
the
for
Dallas Cowboys. Actually, it was a very tough decision because I'm actually going to say the Cowboys should keep pushing.
Interesting.
I think like out of the rest of the teams in the NFC that have like are second in the divisions right now, they have a bit of an easier schedule, I would say, compared to like the Panthers, who are sitting that have a better record than them. But the Panthers are playing the Bucks twice, the Seahawks, the Rams, and those are games they're going to lose. It's a gauntlet. Whereas I have the Cowboys. They're going to play the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Lions, the Vikings, the Chargers, the Commanders, and the Giants. I have them winning. I think they're going to win 4, maybe 5 games if they can beat against the Lions.
Wow.
I don't think it's ridiculous though, because I think if you can keep CD Lamb out of the casino, it's not crazy.
And George Pickens.
Well, George Pickens is playing amazingly, and if CD's out of the casino, then George is also at home. If you keep them home, I think they're going to win, and I feel like
the offense is ridiculous.
The offense is ridiculous. They're putting up great points. I think the defense needs to just tighten it up a little bit, but if you compare them to the other teams in the NFC that are sitting second in their divisions right now, the Panthers have the hardest schedule, I would say, and if they drop 3 games, I think the Cowboys sneak in. The Seahawks are a lock. Green Bay could toss up those games depending on who they're playing. Sorry, Jolm. But I think that the Cowboys have a chance to make it through to the wild card round.
I don't hate that, especially with the new addition of Quinnen Williams during the trade deadline as well. We're going to move on now. We've got Zach. Zach, who do you have?
Let me tell you right now, the Miami Dolphins
are
going to keep trying.
No.
They're sitting at
Kill it off.
Okay, let me tell you, right? They're sitting at 4-7. They've won 3 of their last 4 games. Their upcoming schedule: the Saints, Jets, Steelers, Bengals, Bucks, Pats. Pats last game of the season, they very well could be
That's a loss.
They very well could be sitting Drake May.
That's fair.
With the number 1 seed.
No, because they're still gonna be fighting for the number 1 seed in the AFC.
We don't know that.
They're tied for the
with how competitive the top of the AFC is right now, the Patriots are going to be fighting that week.
Okay, cool. So the Miami Dolphins, right? They've stepped up. Their offense stepped up. Their defense stepped up. In the last 4 weeks, the Dolphins have caused 6 turnovers. That is more than the entire rest of their season. Their defense found their identity.
So you're comparing a bad team to the even worse start they had.
The team that beat the Bills, by the way.
All right.
The team that dropped 34 on the Falcons, right? We're talking about the Miami Dolphins. People are stepping up at the right time.
But how good of a litmus test are the Bills? I mean, the Bills have been mediocre.
They just lost the game to the Texans last night.
They're the classic team that loses to a bad team every year.
I'm just saying. Talk to me in a couple weeks. The Dolphins are sitting at 6-7 after they beat the Saints and the Jets, and let's reevaluate there, okay?
All right, I can't believe this is 2 episodes in a row where he has 6, 7 jokes.
There was no joke being made by me. I was just.
I know you're dead serious, which makes it even worse. 6, 7. All right, we've got one final person. Daniel, who do you have?
So when you look at a team like the Minnesota Vikings,
oh my God, this is a worse take.
There's everything around you that should say that you should keep trying this season, but when you have JJ McCarthy out there, he is single-handedly ruining this team.
So you're saying that they should not keep trying?
No,
they should
tank. They should die for the rest of the season.
I agree.
JJ McCarthy, you can't. How far can you actually get with JJ McCarthy this season?
Can you give up?
He alone, he has less passing yards than Marcus Mariota, Dylan Gabriel.
Not too much of my goat. Not too much of my goat.
Justin Fields.
He's played how many games?
Justin Fields is a running quarterback. How can you have less passing yards than Justin Fields?
I have the displeasure.
He only has slightly more than Russell Wilson, who's been benched a majority of the season. And JJ McCarthy also has the worst passer and QBR in the league.
Wow.
It is horrible.
Okay, so
JJ McCarthy
gotta give it up.
is throwing this team.
And he has
I can't see any reason why that the Vikings can keep trying this year. He has ruined a Hall of Fame talent in Justin Jefferson this season. Justin Jefferson is putting up the worst statistical season of his career. And the Vikings, you just need to live to fight another day. You need to try to go into the draft and free agency, try to shore up and just pray to God that J.J. McCarthy can tap into something, even though we're talking about the quarterback who threw 10 passes or completed 10 passes in the national championship game and was drafted over Bo Nix.
Listen, I don't know. Maybe he completed like 9 passes. 9?
Oh.
Listen, a lesson I'm hearing is you would all be perfect GMs. We're going to take a moment to talk about what may be the most hotly contested debate in the NBA right now, though, whether or not to keep the NBA Cup. With me to hash it out are Olivia Holub, Zack Jewel, and Rico Brill. Olivia, what's your take?
I am not a fan of the in-season tournaments. I get what they're there to do. They're there to make it more. They're there to make it more competitive. But why do we need an in-season tournament for that? The regular season should just be competitive.
I can tell you why.
Why?
The regular season ratings have been down in the past few years. As anyone who watches the NBA can tell you, the regular season is boring.
It is.
Players are not playing a quarter of the time. The stars don't play. So this gives reason for fans to be more excited when they go to a game. Just on a visual aspect. If you go to a game and you see the court,
you can't talk about that. You're a Timberwolves fan. That is the worst looking court out of all of them.
I like watching the court. Okay.
It's neon yellow.
It's better than the normal hardwood.
Anyway, the court. My friends are at a Celtics game tonight against the Nets. The court is going to be all green.
Go Nets.
They're excited to go because of that. So from a fan perspective, it's bringing more money in, more viewership. And it's giving the younger players a chance to win some money. It's giving them a chance to
$500,000.
Yeah,
that's a lot
that's
of money.
a lot for someone on a small contract.
Right, on a two-way.
Even the guys on a big contract, that's a new car.
I don't really see. I don't see any negatives from the tournament.
It's a new car. It's great because you don't have to turn to the gambling that we're seeing all around the league
but
right
you,
now.
you say you don't want the tournament anymore. I just don't see a reason why not to have it.
I want to agree with Rico here. One more thing. The point differential aspect, I actually really enjoy as a fan. Like, I love seeing guys play till the last whistle, till the buzzer's off. I mean, it's enjoyable to see, like, these guys be down by 40, but, like, still playing their butts off.
Okay, so here's my question to rope back to Olivia. Is there not a world where you could kind of tie this group stage-ish format into the NBA regular season without the need for a mid-season NBA Cup?
I think you can, because players should be I get that ratings are down and the NBA is boring in the middle of the regular season.
Well, the ratings actually, they just showed they're up 30% so far for this month. So
yeah,
also
during the NBA Cup.
Exactly.
I get it, but ratings, if they're playing competitive basketball throughout the season, their ratings would be up anyways.
I don't know if I agree.
But how do we make them play more competitive?
Also, why would the ratings be up in game 15 of the regular season? Like, who cares about game 15 of the regular season?
I get your point.
Even if it's a competitive game, like, I don't really think anyone's going to care until we get to the nitty-gritty, the later parts of the NBA, or during the NBA Cup.
Right, but I guess the point that I think you're trying to make is that, like, as a professional athlete, in an 82-game season, you should be trying.
Yeah, why do you need an incentive?
But I guess the point we're at in the league, though, is they're not trying, and this is the only solution we've had so far to make them try harder. So unless there's another solution to replace it, I don't see it.
No,
I mean, we've had this exact problem with
agree.
the All-Star game.
I agree with it's the right solution. I just don't think that these players should be getting incentivized. They should be doing their job. That's what they're getting paid to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a definitely larger conversation.
Exactly. An incentivization conversation compared with.
I understand where the NBA is coming from in doing this. I don't understand why the players need to be compensated to play harder.
Right. I understand what you're saying. All right, everyone, we have one more quick commercial break. But when we come back, our soccer experts have an update on La Liga, and we see the return of one of the most infamous segments in box score history, Cam's tweets. We'll be right back.
Much pressure. If I could give one piece of advice to the members of the box score, it would be to enjoy every minute, to take every opportunity to be creative and be boundless with your ideas. This is one of the few times that you don't have so much pressure placed on you, right? When you're out in the real world, quote unquote, and there's a lot of people ahead of you that are gonna try to shut down ideas, and you're gonna have to go through a lot more levels of approval when you're pitching. And sometimes people aren't gonna believe in you, because once you start back in that bottom of the food chain, it's gonna be a lot harder to get these kind of wacky, crazy, maybe silly ideas. So take every opportunity, be as creative as you can, push the boundaries, make it fun, and just enjoy every minute and really soak it in, because it goes by so insanely fast.
Maggie, did you print out the script yet?
No, that was your job.
Maggie, oh my God, I do it every week.
No,
I told you this is the one
but we
week I
talked
didn't
about
want
this.
responsibility.
Okay. I need to pick my wedgie.
Oh my God, look, they got us slushies. Freeze. Oh my God, we're here.
He's queer.
Now get used to it. Come on, give me my mic. Mic me. Hi, I'm Christian Mudrick.
And I'm Maggie Morlap.
And you're watching Real Reactions.
On the Emerson channel.
Hi, I'm Aaron Kinigsberg, host of EIV's The Dish. Tune in every Friday for your chance to see what kind of bow tie I pulled out of my closet today.
Welcome back to the box score. Spain's top division of soccer, La Liga, is in the midst of a financial question mark. Not because they're running out of money, but because the financial rules are applying differently to some rather than others. With me for this conversation is Cam Veal and Jolm Adams. Cam, what is the situation in Spain?
Well, I'll tell you, so the La Liga financial rules are basically their version of the salary cap. It's called the squad cost limit, and it's basically that each club has a specific amount that they can spend on transfer signings and signing new players that is directly correlated to their revenue and their salaries. So it's kind of like a 1-to-1 ratio. But the thing is that you can't record a player as a signing until you have the revenue to account for it. So it's kind of like you can't really make a credit purchase. You can only pay on debit with what you have in the account right now. You can't pay on
You're not taking out a loan.
Exactly. And it's hard because some of the bigger clubs, their spending is much larger compared to smaller clubs, and they try to implement this rule to make it a bit even, but it doesn't really work like that when teams are having so much larger revenue discrepancies, whereas in North American sports, it's they're making kind of the same amount.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is La Liga is doing Reaganomics.
I would say they're trying to let it trickle down to the smaller clubs. John, what do you think?
I think it's killing the league because right now you're seeing teams like Barcelona, who I'm sure you would have appreciated if they could go out and buy Haaland, but they were unable to because of La Liga's financial fair play rules, and it's killing viewership. They're being outspent by every league in the top 5, and even the Saudi Pro League now.
Yeah.
So they're not able to bring in these big name players who will kind of bring it back to the 2016 era where everyone was watching La Liga and it was the favorite league in the world to watch, and it's kind of why only Barcelona and Madrid now are competing at the top.
I remember, though, a couple seasons ago when Barcelona tried buying Antoine Griezmann, there was a hang-up with that as well. Barcelona when they were having their own financial issues. I mean, there was a mixture of a couple different factors, some corruption, some weird tax fraud incentives.
Yeah,
yes.
I'll never stop talking about 2006, bro. Anyway, but that's because they had changed the ratio from 1-to-1 from 1-to-4. So for every €4 Barca made in revenue, they could spend 1, which is why their signings have gotten messed up. And that's why they're having issues with Dani Olmo right now.
Right.
And that sort of stuff. And I don't think it's not helping the league with players, because you're still going to have small clubs that compete. And every year, Valencia is going to beat Real Madrid, or Girona, last season, they were doing
top of the league.
They were top of the league for a while. I don't think that it's doing what the league is intending it to do, and then it just makes them look worse than every other top 5 league. When 10 years ago, La Liga was the place to be.
Right, especially right now because of the way that financial fair play rules, especially by UEFA, have been enforced so lackadaisically that if it's implemented in different ways for different teams based on the country that you're in, it's putting everyone on a different level of footing. Is there a solution to this?
I think the solution is they just do it like every other league, because it clearly works for the other 4 leagues in the top 5, so why does La Liga have to be any different?
All right.
Exactly.
All right, Cam, Jolm, thank you very much. Now, the New Orleans Pelicans fired head coach Willie Green this week, just 12 games into the season, reigniting the debate on how long of a leash professional coaches are getting in the modern era. With me for this conversation is Cam Veal, Olivia Holub, and Danny O'Toole. Cam, it feels like coaches are getting less and less job security each year now.
Yeah, and it's getting a bit to a point where it's if you're not going to win immediately, they're going to boot you out. But at what point does that hinder you from building up your team? The Pelicans, they've been around for 20 years now, and they've only won 2 playoff series, which is crazy when you have so much time to build up the team. You have AD was on the team, you have Zion now, and my Maryland GOAT Derek Queen is there right now. And it's you have Willie Green, he was there for, this was 4th year, and then you fire him after going 2-10 right now. It's just, you're not giving him enough time to make these changes. Maybe 5 years is a while, but I know, Olivia, you have something to say about that.
Yeah, I'm going to bring up kind of not the NBA, it's happening all over in every league, but the WNBA specifically. Sandy Brondillo, who is the coach of the New York Liberty, she's the winningest coach in the WNBA. This last season, the season just ended, they lost in the semifinals to the Mercury, go Mercury, but they had won the championship the year prior.
Right.
They didn't re-sign her contract.
I know.
She is the winningest coach. You lost in the semifinals. You still made it to the playoffs. Some teams.
It'd be like if South Carolina didn't bring back Dawn Staley.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't understand why we're just kicking these coaches to the curb when they don't win the whole league. It's unnecessary.
Okay. Danny, you were about to give a counterpoint, I believe.
Well, I just think with the Pelicans, yes, they've been around for so long, but the reason why that Joe Dumars, the executive VP of basketball operations, the reason why he said that they fired Willie Green, he was around for 4 seasons, but the reason he gave was because he couldn't find an identity with the team. And I don't understand how, as a head coach, when you have players you have a Zion Williamson, that's your identity. You drafted him number 1. You got to be able to have him be your star player.
But he's had a tough time with injuries too. And I'm a Zion fan, and you can see with coaches, they're very involved. Steve Nash, he was fired also after a couple games. He's crashing out. You're gonna see. There's it's just coaches need to be. I think have both high expectations placed on them, but also very low expectations. It's at the same time.
But I mean, Steve Nash is a great example. As a Nets fan, the Steve Nash era was so interesting because the players were so good. I mean, the roster top to bottom was very good. But Steve Nash was undeniably a not great coach. I mean, he just never had it. So then finally ended up getting fired 7 games into the season. That was the correct decision. Willie Green has not had a roster comparable to what Steve Nash had.
I think there's exceptions.
Yeah. I just think the problem I think this is more of a Pelicans problem, at least in this example, because the ownership group, that is where this problem lies. It's with the owners. And we can go back to the Anthony Davis years. You had so much time to build a team around him. And I think you did see a similar situation with the DeMarcus Cousins injury, but that shouldn't be the reason why the entire ship sinks.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just think, I'm going to use my sons as examples. They get a new coach basically every year.
I know.
How are you supposed to lead a team if you only have 82 games with them? You need to build like that coach-player respect.
Exactly.
To make the players better.
So I feel like what we're saying is that it's more of an ownership
Absolutely.
issue. I think owners need to like maybe be a bit more in touch with what their coaches and their players are feeling. And I feel like there's like that disconnect as well.
If I'm a Pelicans fan right now, I am done with this ownership group. I'm pulling an Oakland A's. I'm grabbing my brown paper bag and I'm saying sell the damn team.
What I'm hearing on the panel right now is a lot of labor theory. This is
head coach union.
Head coach union.
They make so much money then. Come on.
All right, listen. We're gonna head to the octagon now as we prepare for the upcoming Gary versus Muhammad fight. Here to break down the implications for the winner and who they will face after is Jolm Adams and Danny O'Toole. Guys, I need you to break it down for us. Danny, what is happening here? For someone who is not as well versed in the competitive fighting world.
So over this last weekend, in UFC 322, we finally got to see Islam Makhachev. He moved up, won the belt against JDM, but it wasn't just that fight in the welterweight, the 170 division, but it was all the other undercards on that fight. The entire welterweight division kind of essentially just did a complete 180.
Okay.
You have a lot of young stars who are coming up the pipeline, including what we're going to be watching tomorrow night with Ian Machado Gary, potentially going to get a win against the former champion Bilal Muhammad, and he could realistically throw himself back into this title competition.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And what it comes down to is who do you give that title shot to? Do you give it out to Carlos Prates, who just KO'd another former welterweight champion, Leon Edwards? Do you give it to a guy like Michael Morales, who looks like one of the scariest guys in the division and the guy who probably has the best build and stylistic matchup for Islam? Or do you go with like a Kamaru Usman, a guy who...
I would love to absolutely see Kamaru Usman get that title shot, and I think it would be a lot fun to see that because there's a bit of a storyline there because a lot of people think that the reason why Khabib Nurmagomedov didn't move up from lightweight to welterweight was because of Kamaru, because of such a matchup nightmare he is, because he's such a great wrestler and he can strike on the feet.
Kamaru Usman, though, I know at least this much, that there are many pundits who believe Kamaru Usman is past his prime. There is not enough Kamaru Usman left in the tank.
He did come out over the summer. He did get a really nice main event win against Joaquin Buckley in Atlanta, but he has lost steam. I did like the fact that he did take a lot of time off. To him being older, he has a lot of problem with his knees too. You know, we're not talking like I'm 40 years old, I can't get out of bed, my knees are bad. It's like he has no cartilage in his knees type of bad.
Oh.
So
like I can't walk.
Like I can't walk. So I do like the fact that Usman did take the time off, but I think Unk still got it. Unk still got it.
I mean, he definitely still has it because he came out and he went 3 rounds with Khamzat Chimaev, and a lot of people think if that went to 4th or 5th round, he could have finished him. But I am still not of the belief that he should get the title shot.
But Jolm, I'm surprised that you didn't mention the biggest name in this situation right now.
No.
In Ilia Topuria.
Oh, God.
We could potentially, the biggest storyline, especially this year, besides Tom Aspinall and John Jones, has been Ilia versus Islam.
Okay, and why is that?
Because for this fight, now that Islam has finally become a double champion, this will be the first time in UFC history a double champion has fought a double champion.
Ever?
It would also, we'd also get the second time seeing the #1 pound-for-pound fighter fight the #2 pound-for-pound fighter.
Okay, so what I'm hearing about this fight specifically then, I feel like both of these fighters are saying, if we win, I want the title fight. I want the shot to take on take on Islam. If you're Dana White, what are you saying?
Joe, I'll let you go first.
If I'm Dana White, I think you give the shot to Ian Gary. It depends on what if he wins, but it depends on what you value, because I don't think he's going to give it to Bilal Muhammad, because I don't think Bilal Muhammad would sell enough fights.
I don't even think Bilal wouldn't even fight Islam because they train together, but I think I'm intrigued by the Ian Gary fight because, you know, you get the Irish fighter versus the Russian Dagestani. Where have I heard this one before?
Right.
But
and it's gone south very quickly before.
But I do really want to see this Ilia Topuria fight. I want to potentially see him either become a triple champ, and I want to put this debate to rest where who is going to come out on top.
Okay.
But do you think Ilya really moves up and fights Islam at 170? Because I feel like it would be
Conor
a
moved up. Conor McGregor fought at 170. Why can't Ilya?
Conor McGregor is 3 inches taller.
Listen, we could talk about this all night, and I could understand about half of it the entire time. Thank you, Jolm. Thank you. Now, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. Cam Veal is at the triple monitor, patiently waiting to blind react to a set of random tweets. Some sports-related, others not. So think the segment Stephen A. Smith does on his own show. Here to read some tweets and come up with some clips that will find its way into the Box Score Hall of Fame is Cam Veal. Cam, please take it away.
Hi, Bookies. It is good to be back. It's Cam's tweets, aka Cam's Corner. That's how Cam sees it. Can I get the first tweet on the board, please? Steve Nash and Chris Paul, must-see TV. Name a TV show with a two-word title. How about, can I get Poopy Stinky on the board? Mind you, okay, Chris Paul. Did you guys know that Chris Paul and I broke our legs in the same place? I have the scar to prove it, but that's on our Patreon, $10.99 a month, all right? My 5th grade teacher, shout out Mr. Fitzpatrick, he showed the video where Chris Paul fell and snapped his leg and was like, this is what happened to you. And I was like, you know what? And it was. And it did. I got hit by a car. Next tweet. Cheese Parmigiano Reggiano has signed with Hollywood talent. What's that next word? Someone read it to me. Agency. Ooh. Okay, top 10 cheeses. We're going to go right now. Ready? Number 1. This is a deep cut, okay? Saint-Angel, okay? It's like a brie. It's like a softer one, but it's a bit creamier, and I feel like it's quite underrated. Number 2 cheese, okay? Goat cheese with honey and herbs, okay, on a truffle cracker. Number 3, a classic Parmigiano, okay? When I was a kid, I would just be cutting up slices of this and eating it, nom, 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 nom. You know. Number 4, oh, I think, you know what? You can't go wrong with a mild cheddar, a little grilled cheese. Number 5, this is gonna be a little bit of an odd one, okay? I do love a good blue cheese with wings. Blue cheese with wings, 10 out of 10. Next tweet on the board, please. Okay. Why was he doing all that? Ah! And I'll do it again. Ah! And you can see Vanessa in the back. She's like, that's my man Zack. Try. Right now I can hardly breathe. Whoa. You can do it, just know that I believe. And that's all I really need. So come on, make me strong. It's time for the next tweet now.
Oh, that's a banger.
Thank you. Oh,
okay, it says she's a 10.
But she has terrible pocket awareness and scrambles first. Was that just first?
When her first read is covered.
Shout out, Justin Fields. Shout out.
When your girlfriend is, when she's Justin Fields.
When she's Justin Fields. Olivia and I were actually talking about which QBs were the cutest earlier. I don't think I can say some of this stuff on air. He wasn't mentioned, but I'm thinking of a word, and it rhymes with patootie. It's cutie. He's kind of a cutie.
Who is your cutiest?
Jalen Hurts. AKA Shamar Moore. What are you talking about? He's the cutest QB out there.
Moore.
Yeah, he looks like Shamar Moore. That's not crazy to say. We'll pull it up. So we'll edit it. Fifi, edit it. Next tweet.
Fifi doesn't edit them.
Ah! Ooh, wow, wow, wow. Yes. Oh my God. Chat level with me right now. I saw Wicked for Good on Wednesday. And dare I say, it was a masterpiece. I saw it in 3D. Side note, 3D has gotten worse since 2010, but we can talk about that later. Other side note, I'm a very big simmer. Noah, I want you to guess how many hours I have on The Sims 4.
I don't know, in the 200s.
More.
300s.
More.
500s.
More.
thousands,
More.
2,000,
More.
5,000.
That is correct. I have 5,000 hours on The Sims 4.
Dude, you have to go outside. You have to go outside. I'm like, take a shower right there.
Mind you,
Please take a
I
shower.
only discovered how to download mods like 2 years ago.
So you were playing
that
like...
was base game, and maybe a pack on Christmas. All right.
It's ridiculous.
Also, Glinda and Elphaba, like, they were acting gay during Wicked. They were acting gay. That's not crazy to say. Okay? And I think they should have kissed at the end. But no spoilers. All that I can say is that we're running out of time. But Box Score, you have changed me for good. Noah, back to you.
Yeah, that's all we have for you tonight. Make sure you keep up to date with the Box Score on Instagram and at EIV Box Score. And stay tuned for our season finale in a few weeks. I'm your host, Noah Berkowitz. Good night.